activist Malala Yousafzai wins 2014 Nobel Peace Prize. Welcome to NTA Network News. My name is Muhammad Kudu Abubakar. President Goodluck Jonathan has appealed to various communities who are hosts to government and private sector projects that have experienced setbacks by community distractions to partner with government in order to bring development to their communities. The president made the appeal while laying the foundation stone of the Azure Edo power plant in Edo State. State House correspondent Shogun Lawale reports.
The Azure power plant, a 450 megawatt open cycle gas turbine power station, is the first of a new wave of large-scale integrated projects financed by Nigerians. The $800 million investment, expected to be completed in 2017, will complement the ongoing NIPP across the country, most of which are nearing completion. President Jonathan will underscore the tremendous progress made since the launch of the Power Roadmap, assure Nigerians that government will continue to ensure the growth in the electricity industry is self-sustaining and sustainable in order to attain the national target of 10,000 megawatts of electricity.
In terms of the government encouraging the private sector to come into the power sector and indeed other sectors of the economy is key. And just to give that assurance to the international community and the private sector that the present administration is totally committed to working with you, the private sector, to build this country. Our position is very clear in terms of our economic agenda, that government will create the environment, the private sector will drive the economy.
While appreciating the people of Edo State for supporting the project, the president called on communities hosting various infrastructural projects to partner with government for meaningful development of their communities and employment generation.
For development to come to a community, there must be investment. For us to create jobs for our young people, there must be investment. And we encourage communities to work with government, work with the private sector to encourage such investment. Some people want daily bread. They just want 1 naira and they forget about what their children and grandchildren will stand to benefit from government or private sector investments in their areas.
Governor Adams Oshiomhole of Edo State saluted the leadership of President Jonathan in providing critical infrastructure for the socio-economic development of the state and the people.
So you are here, I am here, united by a shared commitment to create wealth, to create prosperity in order to fight and defeat poverty. So, Mr. President, I want to thank you for the personal commitment, for your dogged and persistent support for this project.
The plant is seen as a clear demonstration of the administration's commitment to the gas to power initiative of the president in creating more wealth for economic development as more private investors are encouraged to invest in the sector.
Nigeria deserves adequate, reliable, affordable electricity for the socio-economic development of our nation. Talked about roadmap in the power sector. Not many, I repeat, not many envisage that we will come this far.
We believe it is working, we believe it will continue to work, and we believe that it is one of the greatest weapons that we can use to propel our economy.
With this flag off, it is clear that the harvest is ripe for the power sector reform and roadmap.
Project Azura will be supplied with about 120 million scf of gas per day from the NPDC and SEPNAT joint venture gas plant at Oben.
Construction work is to fully start by the end of November. In Benin, Shogun Lawale, NTA News.
President Goodluck Jonathan Friday in Abuja welcomed the greater support for the war against terrorism from Nigeria's neighbors. The president stated this when he granted audience to Mr. Emmanuel Isoze Ngongdet, a special envoy of President Ali Bongo Ondimba of Gabon. He applauded the heightened commitment of Niger, Chad, Benin Republic, and Cameroon to join in forces with Nigeria to rid the West African sub-region of the scourge of terrorism and violent extremism. Reiterating his view that terrorist attacks on one country must be seen as an affront to all civilized nations, President Jonathan called for a stronger and more effective regional, continental, and global alliance against terrorism and its perpetrators. The president commended President Odimba for Gabon's pledge to support Nigeria's fight against insurgency. He assured the Gabonese president of Nigeria's total commitment to prosecuting the war against terrorism to a successful conclusion. Mr. Ogondet, who is also Gabon's Minister of Foreign Affairs, said Gabon welcomes the decision to form a multinational force that will confront terrorism. He noted that Gabon shared Nigeria's position that Boko Haram's activities has no basis in religion and assured President Jonathan of the support of his country and others in the Central African sub-region in fighting terrorism. Senate President David Mark will on Saturday lead Nigerian lawmakers to the 131st Interparliamentary Union, IPU, in Geneva, Switzerland. Senator Mark is on Monday expected to address the Assembly on the issues of terrorism and insurgency ravaging some parts of the country, containment efforts, and global support to tackle the menace. The Senate President will be accompanied by the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Emeka Ihedioha, and 8 other members of the National Assembly. The delegation is expected back on Friday next week. Allegations of imposition of candidates by certain government officials and lack of internal democracy were the major issues raised by delegates from Cross River State as they visited the People's Democratic Party South-South Integration Committee in Abuja. Correspondent Chimdema Ndebisi reports that this concludes the interactive session with party stakeholders from that geopolitical zone.
On this final day of the People's Democratic Party PDP South-South Integration Committee sitting, Cross River and Bayelsa states were due to visit, but nobody from Bayelsa State showed up because, as we were told, there are no contentions within the party in the state. After deliberations behind closed doors, delegates from Cross River State narrated the issues they tabled before the committee.
All is not well in Cross River State because as we speak, they are there writing lists of ad hoc delegates.
I expect the committee to do justice by the terms of their reference.
We do believe that they will find what we have said true and that they will intervene proactively.
The committee chairman itemized the next line of action.
I can assure you that we will make appropriate recommendations, and in those recommendations,
the committee also cleared issues on allegations that it has been compromised following the rancor that ensued when River State delegates came visiting.
Everybody who presented memo and who turned up here yesterday, all of them were allowed to speak to this committee.
The committee was set up by the party's National Working Committee to broker peace among party members. In Abuja, Chimdema Ndubisi, NTA News.
In compliance with the directive of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, as well as the national leadership of the PDP, vying for various offices under the PDP in Cross River State, have started picking their intent forms. One of such aspirants is a senator representing the Central Senatorial District of Cross River State, Victor Ndoma, who is currently the Senate leader. Correspondent Habiba Oladipo has the report.
Ndoma was received at the Secretariat by the party's officials, stakeholders, and supporters. He said his desire to return to the Senate is to consolidate on the success so far recorded, especially the stability in the polity.
From 2007, when Senator David Mark became Senate President, we have seen a Senate re-elect his Senate President. For once, we have seen a Senate re-elect the same Deputy Senate President as Deputy. For once, we have seen a Deputy Leader move to the position of Leader. That is stability.
I assure you that you have asked that there will be level playing ground for everybody to test the popularity.
In Calabar, Habiba Oladipo, NTA News.
Still on PDP aspirants, the People's Democratic Party has commenced the sale of nomination forms for all persons aspiring for the governorship and National Assembly tickets of the party. Political correspondent reports that the ruling party has promised a level playing ground for all aspirants.
The commencement of the sale of forms further signaled the race for the party's tickets ahead of the primaries fixed for next month. Among those who blazed the trail for the expression of interest and nomination form is a one-time national chairman, Chief Barnabas Gemadi, who is seeking another term in the Senate. For the House of Representatives, Nkiru Pabi from Abia State, Igna Nwene, Anambra State, Godwin John, Akwa Ibom State, and Kudla Satumari, Borno State, are seeking the party's mandate. The PDP National Secretary, Professor Wale Oladipo, says internal democracy will prevail.
The present National Working Committee, under the leadership of Amadou Muazu, will provide level playing field for everybody, every aspirant. If you want to be governor, just go and walk in your state. Don't come to Abuja. We are not going to impose anybody from Abuja.
The party has fixed the National Assembly primaries for the 29th of November this year. In Abuja, Femi Johnson, NTA News.
The people of Alu in Ekwere local government area of River State have resolved to mobilize massively for the realization of President Goodluck Jonathan's re-election project. Alu people said this at a grand reception for the Minister of State for Education, Chief Vincent Wike. Kingsley Amajiri has the report.
The siting of Unity School at Mbodo Town, Alu, and the appointment of Professor Simeon Achinehu into the board of the Nigerian University Commission, NUC, are a source of delight to the people of Alu community, coming from the federal government. The People's Democratic Party, PDP leaders, elders, and chiefs are happy with the positive transformation that President Goodluck Jonathan's administration is implementing, restating their support for his re-election in 2015.
Now that post we campaign, we know that human beings mean a lot in politics.
Alo Council of Chiefs further bestowed the Dimba Obudu Alo on Chief Wike, stressing that he is an achiever that should be encouraged to lead the state. Chief Wike tasked the people to ensure that they participate actively in the forthcoming election to demonstrate that the PDP is a party to beat in the polls.
The only thing you should do is to keep your voters card and come 2015, you show your anger that with this my voters card, I must make sure that PDP does not do River State and Nigeria.
Chief Wike later received some members of the All Progressives Congress, APC, who defected to join the PDP in Alo community. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
Youths from the Northeast geopolitical zone have passed a vote of confidence on President Goodluck Jonathan and declared support for his re-election in 2015. Comrade Abdul Jalalu Dauda, Chairman, Forum of National Youth Council of Nigeria, made the declaration at a Northeast Presidential Youth Leaders meeting hosted by Taraba State Government in Jalingo. Correspondent Ali Tukur reports.
Given the solid foundation laid by the administration's transformation agenda in various sectors such as road, railway, maritime, agriculture and aviation among others, the Northeast youth pledged to support the administration to achieve more development in the country. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Youth and Student Matters, Jude Emagwe, who was at the meeting, said, "Government will not achieve much if Nigerians do not come together as one to combat challenges facing Nigerians."
We must, as people, as the future of this country, identify those things that unite us and stay away from the things that separate us. Understanding the fact that an injury to one is an injury to all.
Acting Governor Taraba State Garba Umar urged Nigerians, especially youth, to support government's effort towards ending insecurity in the country by imbibing the spirit of peaceful coexistence and being our brother's keeper.
We will remain your dependable partner in whatever noble venture you will embark on to further transform and accelerate the process of peace, progress and development in all parts of the country.
The meeting is aimed at creating understanding, harmony and purposeful leadership within various youth groups.
The National Defense College, in collaboration with the United Nations Development Program and the government of Japan, have organized a 2-week course on protection of civilians. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday reports that the course is in line with the United Nations mandate of protecting civilians in conflicts.
Almost all parts of the world are faced with one form of conflict or another. It is the civilians that are mostly affected. Hence, the need to train people on how to protect civilians, both in peacekeeping missions and every other place.
It's about, first and foremost, saving lives and property. You can measure the success of peace support operations by the number of women, children, and men whom peacekeepers have been able to protect.
We want this region to be as peaceful as it could be, and we must be prepared to come in and to assist.
Thus, participants are drawn from all walks of life.
It's very, very important. Not only do I apply this in armed conflict areas, but also where we operate.
Now, those who are going to be involved in operations, whether they are police or military, they now know what to do.
The National Defense College is the apex military training institution for the Nigerian Armed Forces and a center of excellence for peace support operations training at the strategic level in West Africa. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday, NTA News.
And what could be termed a strategic move for decisive action to sharpen the operational administration of the Nigeria Police Force, Acting Inspector General of Police Suleiman Abba has visited Borno and Adamawa states. This is expected to lead to conception of plans for tackling the challenges in many troubled areas of the country. Bonaventure Nwodo packaged this report.
It was the first visit of the Acting Inspector General of Police, Suleiman Abba, outside Abuja since assuming office as the 17th Indigenous Inspector General. Addressing officers and men of the Nigerian Police Force in Maiduguri and Yola, the IGP said the visit is to interact with his colleagues, encourage them, and address issues of welfare and coordinated strategies to stem violent crime.
Whatever belongs to you, I will not forget it.
The Acting Inspector General also visited the Shehu of Borno with a request from the Royal Father for increased protection for traditional rulers.
And in this 16 local government, I have 59 DCS. Out of these 59 DCS, almost 50 DCS are residing in Maiduguri.
Acting Inspector General Suleiman Abba also disclosed that more equipment for higher resource are being acquired.
Malala Yousafzai, a Pakistani girl child education activist, has won the 2014 Nobel Peace Prize. Ronke Kolawole reports that Malala won the prize alongside a 60-year-old Indian children's rights advocate, Kailash Satyarthi. Well, we couldn't bring that report. Of course, as we told you, the media has been awash since morning of Malala's winning of the 2014 Nobel Peace Prize, which she jointly won with the Indian children activist. In the studio with me now is Ibrahim Adamu Abdullahi, a Nigerian youth who has been in the forefront of youth development and child rights activism from his teens. Ibrahim was President Nigeria Children's Parliament 2005-2008 and current member of the he was founding member of the Nigerian Youth Parliament and was president of the African and Caribbean students of the University of Reading, the United Kingdom. Ibrahim, this is the youngest Nobel Peace Prize winner. How does that make you feel as a youth?
Well, it's an honor to witness such a historic event, that Malala, being a 17-year-old education activist, has been awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. And this is a symbol of hope for young people all over the world, most especially young people championing the cause of education for girls and other children. This sends a message of hope for girls who are suffering and are being denied access to education, that with this sort of access to education, they can summon the courage to be able to lead their peers for the betterment of society and their local communities.
With some parts of Nigeria experiencing challenges of insurgency, terrorism, what do you think this kind of award will mean to Nigerian youths particularly?
This is an indication of the sort of progress that education can bring to young people. Malala, despite the challenges she has faced going to school, did not rest at that, not only for herself, but has been championing the struggle for girls and even boys to be educated. I think this, now more than ever, sends a signal of the importance of education and the importance of empowering girls and young people generally.
Well, she was in this country, that is Malala, was in Nigeria recently, early this year. What will you say the impact of that visit was to Nigerian youths?
Well, for me, I think it indicates the importance of Nigeria as a country, and most especially our young people, because young people are the largest population in Nigeria, and for Malala to visit Nigeria indicates that globally people are concerned about the plight of Nigerian girls and Nigerian young people in general, and this calls for a collective action by all of us young people to be able to stand for our peers, to be able to speak up, because now more than ever we need to be courageous. Malala has exhibited courage, and we all need to emulate Malala's courage.
Well, now that you are a legal practitioner, what will you say? What's your take on young persons taking leadership positions and taking more responsibilities?
Well, I think all the critical things that happen in life are first and are best learned in childhood. And so it is very important for young people to be exposed to leadership roles, even at a young age, because it is no longer a cliche that any long-term development goal without the involvement of children and young people is not a positive step. And so right from now, young people should be put at the forefront of leadership. Young people are not just the leaders of tomorrow, we're also the present makers of change. So we must be involved. It is very unrealistic to suddenly expect young people to grow into adulthood and then carry out leadership roles effectively without getting prior exposure to the necessary skills involved. And so young people, all young people want is an opportunity, all young people want is quality education, all young people want is access to jobs so that we can contribute meaningfully to national development.
Ibrahim Adamu Abdullahi, legal practitioner now with Diko and Mahmoud solicitors and advocates. Thank you so much for coming to the studios.
You're welcome.
Up ahead, Northern Governors Forum moves to avert collapse of Northern Nigerian Development Corporation. Details after this break. Don't go away.
From the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood.
Change is never easy. It was not easy for Dr. Martin Luther King when Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew transformed Singapore from third world to first world. It was not easy. They stoned him. It was not easy for Nelson Mandela.
I, Barack Hussein Obama.
It was not easy for Barack Obama. Nothing worthwhile ever is. Dr. Martin Luther King did it. Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew did it. Nelson Mandela did it. Barack Obama did it. Goodluck Jonathan is doing it. He is transforming Nigeria. Mr. President, keep doing it. We who are with you are so many more than those who are against you. A message from protectors of Nigerian posterity.
with excitement on the Airtel Android bundle. To activate, dial *437# for 2 GB at 2,000 Naira or *438# for 4.5 GB at 3,500 Naira. Come alive with the Airtel Android bundle.
The finer things use exceptional materials. They require meticulous attention to detail and demand diligence. The finer things are timeless, created with unbridled passion and a keen eye for every feature. The finer things are premium, just like every Grenadine's home we create. We use only the best professionals, skilled artisans, and the choicest materials. Our passion is to design spaces that reflect luxury, astute workmanship, and elegant style. To create luxurious settings you're not only proud to show off, but also delighted to call home. Grenadine's Homes, building treasures for you.
These are the best breed of global leadership. After them stands in crowning glory a visionary and dynamic apostle of the gospel of their virtues. Like Martin Luther King and Nnamdi Azikiwe, he is gifted with the power of oratory.
Education must be free so that the children of the parents of the poor can go to school.
Like Obafemi Awolowo, he is the grand commander of free education. Like Ahmadu Bello, he is the symbol of unity.
We therefore as Nigerians cannot overlook the urgency of now to move this nation forward.
Like Nelson Mandela, he is the true emancipator of the people. Like Mother Teresa and Aminu Kano, he is a lover and true friend of the poor. Like Otumego Ojukwu, he is courage personified. And like Kwame Nkrumah, he is a detribalized Pan-Africanist.
Owele Rocha Sokorocha, save our generation. Even the children say so. To join this call, visit our website on Generation Rochers USA at www.generationrochers.com.
It's not a question of place.
It's not a question of temperature.
It's not a question of depth.
Or knowledge.
It's not a question of dedication.
It's not a question of caring.
Or passion.
It's not a question of language. In fact, it's not a question at all.
Energy has to be better.
Safer. Cleaner. More efficient.
More innovative.
More accessible.
It's our responsibility.
And our commitment to make it better.
For all of us.
Total, committed to better energy.
As a civil servant, he served Kano State government for 17 years. As a politician, his entry point was Deputy Speaker of House of Representatives, later a member of the Constitutional Conference. As a leader of the masses, he started as a governor of the most populous state. As a trusted Nigerian, custodian and defender of Nigeria's unity and sovereignty, he served as defense minister for about 4 years, presidential advisor on Darfur and Somali. As a politician with true sense of justice and nationalism, he served on the board of NDDC. As a dogged fighter, politician of all seasons, he was re-elected as governor after 8 years of first term. As a crusader for justice and fairness in politics, he led fellow governors to join a robust opposition party. As a detribalized Nigerian, he knows all the nooks and crannies of this country. As a global bridge builder, he has traversed all the continent of the world and interacted with political and military leaders in more than 50 countries. Indeed, Ongosu can be trusted to do more for Nigeria.
Guys, I did try remember the code to buy MTN internet bundle.
That one easy now. Make I help you Google the thing. Nah.
Just dial *123#.
I dey use BB now.
Just dial *123#.
If I want change tariff plan, uncle.
Same thing.
Of course. That's why it comes simple.
For faster access to MTN services, just dial *123#.
MTN, everywhere you go.
Transformation ambassadors of Nigeria.
My good people of Nigeria, does anybody use mirror to look at what they have at hand? No! Good luck at the ingredients of life. Automobile industries, full encouragement. Second Niger bridge from mirage to reality. Good luck! Railways, seaports and airports are come back to modern life. Good luck! Or a Benin highway and other federal highways from dead trap to modern spectacle. Good luck! There you are. Petrol and nyaf with control price and so many other etc. Good luck I do. Good luck are going to do. And good luck will be yours. Are you see what I'm saying? Only good luck affects the security challenges of Nigeria with honesty and commitment. Fighting terrorism to a halt.
Good luck continue for Nigeria.
This message is brought to you courtesy Transformation Ambassadors of Nigeria. Done for one vision, Nigeria.
With my heart full of joy and thanks to Almighty God, I rejoice with you, my dear sister, Hajia Bola Shagaya, as you mark your birthday today, October 10, 2014. You have been a pillar of support, a dutiful, resourceful, and reliable friend who over the years has always shown strong commitment, devotion, and loyalty. I commend your resourcefulness and strength in your chosen area of endeavor, the oil and gas industry. I wish you a memorable celebration and many happy returns. May Almighty God grant you good health, long life, and a very prosperous future. Announcer, Her Excellency Dame Patient Jonathan, First Lady, Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Still on NTA Network News, key government officials and members of the House of Representatives have interacted with the traditional rulers in Niger State with a view to ensuring effective implementation of federal and state government's policies at the grassroots levels. The meeting discussed topical issues ranging from voter education, registration, and collection of permanent voters' card. Mary Norberge has details.
Highlighted are non-completion of the dredging of River Niger and the port in Barrow despite 70% of funds paid to the contractor by the federal government and the delay in the takeoff of Hyperdeck office despite being assented to by the president, urging the chairman, Northern State Governors Forum, Dr. Muaz Babangida Aliyu, to wade into the matter. The participants appreciated the ongoing rehabilitation of federal roads in the state and the strategies evolved to sensitize the public to be security conscious, imbibe environmental, water and food sanitation to guard against Ebola virus and other diseases. Chairman, Northern State Governors Forum and Niger State Governor Dr. Muaz Babangida Aliyu said commercialization and mechanization of agricultural sector in the state will boost national policy on food security. Deputy Majority Whip, House of Representatives Ahmed Mukhtar commended government at all levels and the traditional rulers for their role in the maintenance of peace and security in the state. Chairman, Niger State Council of Traditional Rulers and Etsunupe Alhaji Yahya Abubakar also appreciated government and pledged their continued support to the implementation of its policies and programs. In Mina, I am Mary Norberge, NTA News.
President Goodluck Jonathan has approved the appointment of 6 new permanent secretaries in the Federal Civil Service. The head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Mr. Eladiki Fassi, who announced the approval, said that the appointments have been made to fill vacant slots following the appointment of the head of the Civil Service of the Federation and the retirement from service of permanent secretaries representing Benue, Kebbi, and Niger states. Also, to fill the vacancies for retiring permanent secretaries representing Edo State and the Northwest Geopolitical Zone. The Nigerian Union of Journalists and the National Union of Printing and Publishing Paper Products Workers chapters of the New Nigerian newspapers have called on the federal government to intervene and salvage the newspaper from collapse. The union stated this at a news conference in Kaduna and demanded for the payment of their unsettled entitlements. Correspondent India Andiaba Gang has details.
Since the federal government handed over the New Nigerian newspapers to the 19 northern states in 2006, the company has been faced with a myriad of problems, hindering it from operating at optimal capacity. The situation resulted to several strikes by the workers demanding for their entitlement. This, the workers said, negates the vision of its founding father, who sees truth as the greatest weapon.
The deplorable state of the company is an aberration of the forthright of the founding fathers' legacy. The situation in the company is nowhere near their southern counterparts. Therefore, the workers are calling on northern governors to buckle up and reposition the company.
Reacting to the conference, the acting managing director of the New Nigerian Newspapers, Bala Muhammad, debunked the allegations of non-payment of entitlement by the joint union.
The truth of the matter is that the management of the New Nigerian has carried along the workers right from the time they embarked on their ill-informed and ill-timed strike. It's not true that there was any treatment of anybody. Indeed, this management is the only management that had made effort towards paying workers while they are on strike.
He further said management of the company has made recommendations towards repositioning the newspapers and awaiting the response of the government of the 19 northern states owners of the company. In Kaduna, I am Indenyan and Abayang, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the chairman of the Northern Governors Forum and Governor of Niger State, Dr. Muazu Babangida Aliyu, has called on the aggrieved staff of the New Nigerian newspapers to exercise patience as a solution is expected soon. Governor Aliyu, in a statement by his chief press secretary, Israel Ibie, expressed optimism that the challenge faced by the organization will soon be resolved. Governor Aliyu said it is the wish of northern governors to have the New Nigeria rehabilitated, as it is one of the legacies the late Sir Ahmadu Bello left behind. The Northern Governors Forum, therefore, is doing its best to ensure that it remains on the newsstand, according to the statement. Today is World Eggs Day. Correspondent Abdullahi Musa Suleja takes a look at the nutritional value of egg and the health of an individual.
Egg, a spherical body produced by birds, snakes, insects, and other animals, houses an embryo useful for human growth. Some Nigerians, it was observed, don't eat egg, believing that it has cholesterol. But experts say the egg contains vitamin D, which prevents breast cancer, second to breast milk, as it contains 93% of biological values of proteins. It is also said that egg is important for the body's metabolism. National President of the Poultry Association of Nigeria, Dr. Ayola Oduntan, at a media briefing to mark the day, said Nigerians should develop the habit of eating an egg per day, as it contains the highest quality of protein one can get.
Eggs contain selenium. Selenium is an important antioxidant that helps the immune system. We are insisting that the government introduces an egg a day in the school feeding program.
Until we are able to change our lifestyle, to become conscious of what we eat, we might not be able to generalize, the desire for the consumption of an egg a day.
Second Friday of every October is marked as the World Egg Day. In Nigeria, this year's theme is an egg a day for the Nigerian child. In Abuja, Abdullahi Musa Sleja, NTA News.
From nutritional matters to financial matters, the International Monetary Fund Financial Stability Report has recommended that policymakers should work towards helping banks restructure while improving government's knowledge and oversight to the asset management sector. The report released at the 2014 annual meeting of the IMF World Bank Group in Washington, D.C. indicates that most banks in the advanced economies are not healthy enough to support global recovery. Correspondent Bosede Adebayo has the report.
In recent times, concerns have been raised about risk building outside the banking system as global regulators adopt rules to make banks use tighter lending standards and fund their operations with less borrowed money. In the 2014 Financial Stability Report, the IMF analyzed 300 banks in advanced economies around the world and found that banks, representing almost 40% of total assets, are not strong enough to supply adequate credit.
After having gone through the stage of stabilizing the banking system and then repairing balance sheets, banks now face a new challenge. and that is of adapting the business models to the post-crisis economic and market realities, and also to the new regulatory environment.
At another forum, a panel of researchers and professors of economics examined the needed reforms to ignite and sustain job-rich and inclusive growth. The conclusion is that global growth is recovering from the Great Recession, but the outlook for job creation remains unsatisfactory.
If you don't look yourself in the mirror and say this is what we need to do as a country, with our own effort, with our own resources, with our own people to develop, then I don't think any foreign answer will be of any use.
Rising income inequality across many economies is a significant concern. From Washington, D.C., United States of America, Posedi Adebayo, NTA News.
National Troop of Nigeria for repositioning. Details with Vera in our Lagos studio. Hello, Vera.
Thank you, Mohammed. Good evening and a warm welcome to Lagos. For Nigeria to be counted among the Committee of Nations, investment in science and technology is imperative. This was the submission of the Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Abdul Bulaman, in Lagos during his working visit to the Federal Institute of Industrial Research, Oshodi. Annie Daniels reports.
The minister, while addressing staff and management of the institute, applauded the success recorded so far. He reiterated the present administration's commitment at ensuring that science and technology are given their pride of place in Nigeria.
You cannot create wealth. You cannot develop your economy without technology. It is the technology that you will use to create wealth.
The Director General of the Institute, Gloria Lemo, says FIRO Investment and Technology Week is aimed at actualizing the Institute's mandate to assist in accelerating the industrialization of the nation's economy through the upgrading of indigenous production technologies and also to find ways of utilizing the nation's raw materials.
We're expecting that at the end of this technology, with the over 250 technologies that we have developed here at the count of our time, we want to showcase this.
The minister was taken on a familiarization tour of the Institute's facilities. His working visit to FIRO is for on-the-spot assessment of the Institute's level of preparedness for its Investment and Technology Week, to be declared open by President Goodluck Jonathan on Tuesday the 14th in Lagos. Annie Daniels, NTA News.
The National Troop of Nigeria, described as the country's cultural ambassador, is being repositioned to add value to governance and contribute to economic development. The Artistic Director and Chief Executive Officer of the National Troop of Nigeria, Akeshola Adejuwon, made this known at a media briefing in Lagos. I was there for NTA News. Nigeria is richly blessed with human and natural resources. Exploring the human resources as embedded in the National Troop of Nigeria is what the Artistic Director says he is set to showcase. A rejuvenated, self-sustaining National Troop representing the image, pride and contributing to gross domestic product, just like the Nollywood, will engage the attention of the Artistic Director. He told journalists that Nigeria's rich cultural heritage, as depicted in various cultural festivals in Nigeria, is part of his strategic plan to reposition the National Troop.
The domestic platform for the festivals, Domestic Festival of Performing Arts, which will also dovetail into one, which is called Abuja International Festival of Performing Arts. Those two would provide, that platform that I see that the teeming youth of this country require to showcase their talents.
The National Troop, in collaboration with the private sector, will engage in aggressive but proactive fund drive to make the troop self-sufficient, impact on the lives of Nigerians with a toast of international community. He, however, regretted that infrastructure deficit remains a challenge. And now to business news. Amechi Pius is our guide.
A warm welcome to Business News. My name is Amechi Pius. The federal and state governments have been advised to evolve an efficient and effective tax system that will encourage more Nigerians to view taxation as a social responsibility and not an exercise in futility. Some financial experts who spoke to a correspondent in an interview disclosed that apart from those in paid employment, more than 80% of players in the informal sector do not pay tax.
One of the challenges you have when you have a weak tax system is that the government, those in government do not have an overriding responsibility to build the infrastructure that should encourage businesses to grow so that they could earn higher tax revenue. In other countries, if a factory goes to interior boost setup, the government will take load to them so that that area will develop, create employment for citizens, and based on the employment created, the government will earn tax revenue to continue its economic and social development.
Governments in Nigeria, like in most developed economies of the world, they believe, must be driven by an effective tax system that allows taxpayers demand their rights to basic social amenities like roads, water, and electricity.
If you now say all Nigerians who are owing arrears of taxes for the last 30 years will pay it, you cause anarchy in society, and people will further start hiding their income. But if you show that if you use a human face to approach it, use moral suasion to approach it, you will get people who come forward and pay their tax.
What is needed to address Nigerians' apathy to taxation, experts say, is an efficient utilization of revenue by government, which can be achieved through moral suasion. And to stock market report, here are details of trading at the close of business on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange today. Transactions ended on a cautious note at the nation's capital market as the all-share index fell by 0.32% to close at 40,444.39 points. Market capitalization ended at 13.5 trillion naira as a total of 242.9 million shares changed hands at 2.68 billion naira. With a 2.95 kobo gain, Forte Oil emerged the top gainer, while Mobil shared 2 naira per share price to lead in the losers category. And that's business news. Thanks for watching. The news continues.
The Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, Dr. Abdul Bulama, announces the Maiden Investment and Technology Week of Federal Institute of Industrial Research, Oshodi, FIRO. Theme, Sustainable Job Creation through FIRO Technologies. Date, October 13th to 17th, 2014. Venue, FIRO premises at Kappa, Oshodi, Lagos. The event will be declared open by His Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, GCFR, on the 14th of October 2014 at 10 a.m. Chairman of the occasion, Dr. Oba Otudeko. Exhibition stands are available at 100,000 naira, 75,000 naira, and 50,000 naira. Please be there. Think industrialization, think FIRO. Announcer, management.
Those who detest education and want to take us back to another time, to them we say the future demands education, and we are building that future together. New federal universities, hundreds of new Almajiri schools, a commitment to educating every Nigerian child in every region, the infrastructure and jobs for a better future. The largest economy in Africa must now educate the smallest child. We cannot go back. Good luck, Jonathan. One Nigeria, moving forward together.
For the sweetest scent, for the highest flight, for the fastest drive. Form follows function. The world's first curved OLED TV. Picture perfect. It's all possible. LG OLED TV.
What is going on?
Haven't you heard? Samsung and Etisalat are having the most amazing free data and smartphone offer ever!
Hello?
Babe, you can now get all Samsung smartphones at the lowest prices at Etisalat Experience Centers or any authorized Samsung dealer.
Yes, I know. First, you get up to 1.5 gigabytes free data once you buy the smartphone, and then double of every data bundle you buy of 200 megabytes and above for the next 12 months.
Experience speed on everything from the Samsung Galaxy S5 to the Samsung Trend Lite at the most affordable prices.
Etisalat, now you're talking.
Auntie!
Hello, my dear. I see you went shopping with your mom, right? And what did you buy?
Power oil. It has 0 cholesterol and 0 trans fats. and contains vitamin A and natural vitamin E. It's a healthy oil for a healthy family.
I'll buy Power next time I go shopping,
Power Oil, healthy for you.
Introducing the great tasting new Mini-Me Chin Chin, rich in yummy ingredients like milk, butter, and wheat.
Mini-Me, crunchy, Mini-Me, tasty,
cheerful, joyful, very big. Break the boredom with the unique taste of Mini-Me Chin Chin.
Love is the greatest of all virtues. The Holy Bible and the Holy Quran tell us so. Love is not boastful. Love is humble, cool under pressure. Love is hope for the next generation. Love is the North, East, West, and South living in unity. Love is progress despite adversity. It makes the impossible possible. Love is a secure nation with prosperity for all. Love is transformation. We need more love. Good luck, Abele Jonathan. Driven by love for God and country. Mr. President, we appreciate you. We who are with you are so many more than those who are against you. A message from protectors of Nigerian posterity.
Thank you for being there. The need for Muslims to emulate Prophet Muhammad's peace be upon him by championing the bond of unity is the focus of Friday's sermon at the Upper Legislative Quarters Mosque, Abuja. Abdullah Garba Ben Nkodu has the report.
Quoting from the Hadith and the Holy Quran, Imam Abdullahi Adamu Funtua reminded Muslims on the place of unity in building the religion and a decent society. This, is added, would only be possible by good neighborliness, showing love, respect, and care to each other.
Muslims, you have to unite and follow the guidance of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, like he said in one of the hadiths, the Muslim to his brother Muslim like a building, like one building. If some part of the building break, the other must follow him to fall down.
Being a multi-religious society, the Imam recalls a period when the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, lived peacefully with other religious followers and urged all to emulate.
You find yourself maybe left and right, not a religion, so you have to talk with them. Maybe if you get something, buy something for them as a Muslim. Say, okay, this is what my religion is commanding. Islam is for all mankind. It's not for only the followers.
Today is the 16th day of Zulhajj in the Islamic calendar. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Brunokudu, NTA News.
When we return, Nigeria made Sudan in a must-win African Cup of Nations qualifier in Khartoum. Details on Sports Update. Don't go away.
There are three kinds of people. Those who talk about change. Those who resist change. And those who make changes. We belong to the kind that make changes. We believe in it. We demonstrate it. We support it. We endorse it. Let the change.
Kene Magwadike has the Sports Update.
African champions Nigeria Super Eagles are one of the teams in third-round hostilities for tickets to the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations being decided this weekend across the continent. The Eagles, who arrived Sudan Friday ahead of Saturday's encounter, are faced with a make-or-mar situation, having gathered just 1 point in Group A after 1 loss and 1 draw against Congo and South Africa. Cape Verde travelled to Mozambique looking for the win that could place them on the path to their first-ever appearance, while Algeria know that a win against Malawi Malawi will ensure their qualification to the tournament. The Nigeria Football Federation has embarked on measures to ensure that best international standards are maintained in the administration of the sport in the country. Board member Emeka Inyama says the federation is geared towards charting a new course.
We're also trying to package a corporate Nigerian program that will bring back the confidence into Nigerian football vis-a-vis having sponsors to come on board.
Sports development in Akwa Ibom State is to receive a boost as the Olympic-sized stadium complex in Oyo, the state capital, will soon be ready to host sporting activities. Commissioner for Sports in the state, Mande Uko, who conducted journalists around the 30,000 capacity complex, said sports and youth development remains paramount in the state's agenda.
Before today, we never knew what stadium is supposed to look like. So I will encourage, and I will keep even encouraging the Akwa Ibom State government to continue to do the mini stadium around the entire state so that we can continue to improve on sporting facility in the state.
Belgium's 2012 Ryder Cup player Nicolas Corsat came within millimeters of becoming the first man to shoot a sub-60 round in the 42-year history of the European Tour during his opening round in day one of the ongoing 2014 Portugal Masters at the Oceanico Victoria Golf Club. The 31-year-old missed a 20-foot birdie putt at the 18th hole to miss out by one stroke. The winner of the tournament will emerge on Sunday. With Sports Update, Kenai Mabodike, NTA News.
The death has been announced of an NTA staff reporter, Mr. Samaila Abdullahi. The family of the late Samaila announced that he died after sustaining injuries in a motor accident on Monday, the 6th of October 2014, on the Hontoa-Zaria Highway. He was buried on Tuesday, the 7th of October 2014, at his hometown, Talata Mafara, Zamfara State. The late Samaila Abdullahi, who died at the age of 33, had a bachelor's degree in French. He joined the NTA in March 2012 and was recently transferred to NTA Parliament Channel, Abuja, from NTA Kawaran Namuda. Late Samaila Abdullahi is survived by his parents and siblings. Time now for a quick check on the weather. To end the news, remember it is your right to challenge anybody suspected to be involved in wholesome activities around you. Be security conscious. This message is from the Directorate of State Security Service. That concludes Network News tonight. I'm Muhammad Kura Bakr saying good night.